So I think if you look at the industry as a whole right now, or even starting back in 2015 when we started making a strategic pivot towards multi-platform and most specifically multi-platform big screen distribution, there's this huge amount of fragmentation and disruption in the television space, and we saw an opportunity with the Newsy brand and the amazing storytelling ability and production capabilities that they had when we bought them, and said, we think we can turn this into a brand that can really step into this space and redefine what television is. And so the big picture for us is really moving towards the big screen, no matter what that big screen is. Really giving people that 10-foot screen and saying, lean back, watch the news, and learn something and get a better understanding of the world around you. So that's our big goal. We want to make sure that we're capitalizing on every opportunity we have to get our brand in front of a TV viewer, no matter if it's on cable or on Roku or somewhere else, and really get them to sit down and do something that I think is sorely missing right now. Watch the news. Yeah, so we actually signed our first cable deal last year with Cincinnati Bell. It was our first test. Great partners of ours in the Cincinnati area. Obviously, I'm based in Cincinnati with EW Scripps Corporate. And we wanted to see if there was an appetite for the content we were producing. So we had Newsy Live, which we distributed on Sling TV. We were one of the first digital natives on their platform, and they were looking if there was an opportunity to do something that could supplement a CNN or disrupt a CNN. And we were looking to see if we could do something that could supplement cable news or disrupt something like a headline news, which, if you remember headline news of old days, used to actually have news on it. And so, yeah, I would say that we're actively looking out in that space, and you never know where we're going to go. But we look at the living room ecosystem not as a either-or situation where I think a lot of people say, well, you can only have your news over here or over there, or you get a digital product and you get something else, but it's an and problem. You have to be on over-the-top platforms because that's where the industry's heading, and you'll have huge amounts of penetration here in the next 5 to 7 years, and you have to reach viewers in other spots. So we're always looking at the best way to be able to touch every single viewer on every single platform. We have mid-roll, pre-roll, the usual, some banner advertising on Newsy.com, which is a smaller part of our business. But what we're really focusing on is kind of going beyond that 30-second story and getting into the native content space. And we see huge value there, not just in the ability for us to add context to what a brand story is, because the reality is if you can produce a 30-minute story and it's compelling and engaging, and it just so happens to be sponsored by a company like General Electric or something like that. Clear disclosure, obviously, and it's produced by a secondary team. We have a team that's separate from our editorial operation. But if you can do that in a linear environment, there's a huge amount of value for the advertiser and a huge amount of value for the viewer as well. So we're excited to continue to press forward with the brand studio, which we unveiled here at the New Fronts last year, and really start getting people to understand the value of getting people to watch this content and stream, and watch how people don't tune out. And that's the most fascinating thing that we've seen. People enjoy watching a well-produced commercial. And I think you see that as if you're watching television and a 30-second ad makes you cry, you're not so upset about watching it. So there's a huge amount of opportunity for disruption in that space. And there are plenty of other people doing the brand studio side, but I think our broad distribution and the number of platforms that we can deliver to make us just a little bit different. So we look at distribution in a really fascinating way. It's marketing we get paid for. It's a great way for us to get the Newsy brand out there. And we have slimmed down some of our distribution to web partners and others, and we don't have as big of partnerships with some of the other companies like we used to. We don't do white label work. So that part of the distribution is different, but we still aggressively get our content out there in every possible place that we can to ensure people know what the Newsy brand is, can be exposed to our amazing storytelling, as Christina was telling you, and then hopefully when they load up that Roku app and see us as a top 10 app or top 15 app in the free section of Roku, they say, oh yeah, I've watched a Newsy clip before, why don't I add that channel? And we see that happen, it's great. I've been running Newsy for 18 months and collaborating with Christina and the team, and it's been an incredibly crazy ride. We went from 34 people, we'll end at 90-something this year. We'll go out west, we know that, for a bureau, and I wouldn't be surprised to see us go international, but time will only tell. We'll be bigger, we'll be stronger, and you'll see us in more places, that I can guarantee. We look at the number of news organizations that have cropped up. Jesus, digital is flooded with news competitors. But in the OTT space, it's not so much. It's really us, ABC, NBC, CNN, or CBSN. It's really it. And so, we describe ourselves as the better alternative. If you want to watch what people have been doing for the past 50 years, you have plenty of options. If you want to watch something better, that's more captivating, that's up to date, and that actually tells you things instead of just tells you what may have happened on the surface, then you have that. But we can do it better.